Hello friends, I'm Tim Wildsmith, and in this video we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of Bibles from Alabaster and Kindred. Okay, so as you can see, it is cold in Nashville this week. It's been snowing like crazy. Most of the city is shut down, and the Nebraska kid in me is loving it. I'm excited to go play in the snow, but first, I wanted to record this video. Earlier this week, I did a review of Kindred, which is a really cool new version, individual books of the Bible, visual with all these great photos in it. And a lot of you left comments here on YouTube and on Instagram and said, hey, doesn't that look a lot like Alabaster? You know what? They have a lot of similarities. I've done a review of the Alabaster Gospels last year. Both beautiful products that have some similarities, but they also have a lot of differences. And so that's what this video is all about, to show you the differences between the two, to help you make a decision if one of these is right for you. That's what Bible Review Blog is all about. So hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more great Bible content. And as I go through this video, if you have a question, definitely leave that for me, and I will get back to you with an answer. Okay, here we go. It's a side-by-side look at Alabaster and Kindred. Okay, so here we have Alabaster's newest book, the Book of Esther, with the original from Kindred called the Gospel of Mark. Now, just throwing this out there, Alabaster's a few years ahead of the game. I believe they came out in 2016, and so they have a bunch of different books of the Bible, and they're continuing to release new products. Kindred released Mark last fall. That was their first edition. Luke is coming out right now, while in February 2021 when this video is being recorded, and they've got more releases scheduled coming ahead. So they're growing as a company, but I've got full reviews of the Gospels from Alabaster and Luke and other videos. I'll put links in the description to everything here so you can find those. Those are fuller run-throughs, but I'm just wanting to give you a side-by-side look right now. The first thing you notice is that Alabaster is a little bit smaller than Kindred. So Alabaster is 7.5 inches wide and 9.5 inches tall, whereas Kindred is 8.25 inches wide by 11.75 inches tall. This is the A4 paper size. So it's definitely a little bit smaller. It kind of fits inside there like that. But they're both similar in the fact that they are sewn perfect bindings. So they kind of have a similar look and feel, just being this square cut. It kind of reminds you of a magazine, that sort of thing. So they have a similar vibe going on, but they are different in a lot of ways. One is the size. Two, you can see that Alabaster is a matte finish. It doesn't have any gloss to it, both on the cover and on the inside of the pages, whereas for Kindred, it does. It has a little bit of a gloss to it, if I can get the light reflection to come over there, on the cover as well as the pages. So it just has a little bit of a different look and feel to it as far as the finish goes and things like that. They both feature full color images. They both feature the entire text of the book of Scripture. Now, Alabaster is using the New Living Translation, which is a modern, more thought-for-thought translation of the Bible. Really big fan of it. I've said before on these videos that I loved using it when I was in youth ministry, because it just really kind of makes the text approachable. So there you see their text on the page. It's got the headings just a little bit bigger in a sans serif font. Verse numbers are real small and light, and all it features is the text of Scripture interspersed with images. So you see, you've got a page with 13 verses on it, and then you've got 4 full pages of text or of photos before you get back to the next part of the text. So, and it's just totally unique and different. And you can see that this is a pretty small text. They don't actually say, I couldn't find any information on Alabaster's website about what size the text is, but I think it's probably like an 8 or a 9-point font, whereas with Kindred, you get a 10-point font. They are not using the NLT, they are using the New American Bible Revised Edition, and they don't just give you the text of Scripture, they're also giving you all of the footnotes and the cross-references and things like that come with the Bible. So you get a little bit larger, kind of each section of Scripture kind of has this bigger heading section, and then you get the text of Scripture, and then offset in a smaller font. That's a 10-point font. Offset in a smaller font are the footnotes. And so you see over here, it's giving you the text and the footnotes. Again, interspersed with photos, but they have each different section of the text kind of has its own start of the page. So this little pericope, the call of the first disciples, is going to appear by itself, and they kind of march through that way, and it's overlaid across the text and different things like that. So New Living Translation New American Bible Revised Edition. That's one difference. Both feature full color photos interspersed throughout the text. This is a smaller font. This is probably an 8, maybe a 9-point font. This is a 10-point font. Other than that, it's just kind of how they organize it and space it. I would say the Alabaster kind of has a little bit more, giving you a lot more white space on the page. It's a little bit more, the text is smaller and focused like that, whereas on the Kindred, you're kind of getting it a little bit more bold and bigger. And sometimes it's interspersed on top of images, if I can find a page where they do that, like this over here. So the text is in there, so it's kind of bouncing back and forth between a couple of different styles. The other big thing that you'll notice is that Kindred only uses what they would call non-man-made imagery. So it's mostly pictures of creation, natural things like that, and it's kind of evoking the creative spirit of God and creation. So it's a lot of that, whereas Alabaster is doing the same thing. You get a bunch of creation images, but you also get other imagery. So there's a piece of glass, there's pictures of, there's a balloon, I've seen a lot of different lighting and balloons. There's also pictures of people. I'll find some in here. So it's just a slightly different idea behind their photography, and one's chosen to kind of keep it real streamlined and natural, and the other's more, I think this one's a little bit more kind of evoking different things with the imagery. And that's one of the things that both of these Bibles are doing, is using imagery to kind of push you somewhere as you read the text and really make the side of you that's a visual learner kind of open up as you're reading. And so those are the main differences. New Living Translation, New American Bible Revised Edition, smaller, obviously 7.5 by 9.5, 8.25 by 11.75. This is more of a glossy finish all the way throughout. This is more of a matte, non-gloss finish. And then the way they use the photos, the way it's laid out, both of them are beautiful, right? Both of them look great. Both of them are kind of going in the same direction with what they're trying to get from us as we read Scripture. Also, this one, again, has the notes and things like that. But they're just doing it in a slightly different way. So I have a lot of reason to think, man, I could use this for one type of study, this for another type of study, that sort of thing. Would love to know what you think. But those are the main differences, just looking at these two side by side. So there you have it, a side-by-side look at Alabaster and Kindred. Both really beautiful, unique, cool ways to read the Bible. I like each one for different reasons, but I'd love to know what you think. So leave a comment. Let me know what features of each one you think work best. Definitely check out BibleReviewBlog.com. I've got a full write-up of both of these. I've got more great photos. Visit us on Instagram and Facebook. There's an awesome community gathering around Bible Review Blog. And while you're here on YouTube, once again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more great content like this. I've got to go. I'm going to go play in the snow, but thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you next time.